This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. If you go to theyoungturks.com/GoDaddy, you get the best promo codes in the world.
Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker on with Greta Van Susteren on Fox. Walker says that actually these rallies, these sort of anti-Walker rallies, are pulling the Republicans in Wisconsin together. This is clip 4.
They're hanging out in hopes that somehow that will test their resolve. If anything, I think it's made the Republicans in the Assembly and the Senate stronger. They're not going to be bullied. They're not going to be intimidated. I've said all along, the thousands of people who are storming the Capitol have every right to be heard, but I'm not going to let them overshadow the voices of the millions of taxpayers in the state of Wisconsin who deserve to be heard as well.
By the way, the deal with the unions isn't even the major source, isn't even close to the major source of Wisconsin's budgetary problems. Care to guess what it is, by the way? In a shocking development, it's enormous tax breaks for big businesses and the wealthy. Just a thought. Instead of sort of deciding to solve your budgetary problems on the backs of teachers and other public employees, I don't know, maybe sort of stop making it on the backs of, maybe start making, I don't know, Monsanto pay their share. I have no idea whether Monsanto does any business in Wisconsin. But it's the first company that came to my mind, and Monsanto's up to no good. I think we all know that. All right, here's more of Governor Walker talking about whether law enforcement can be sent to Illinois to come get them. This is a question from Greta Van Susteren. It's a ridiculous question. Can Wisconsin state troopers cross the line into Illinois to bring back Wisconsin legislators who haven't done anything wrong? I'm not a police officer, I'm not a legislator, and I'm not a lawyer. But allow me to answer the question. No.
As a practical matter, can you send law enforcement to another state to pick up state senators? Is there any authority to do that? Or do you have to get the cooperation, for instance, of the state of Illinois to do this?
Yeah, that's a really big question for us. I mean, the bottom line is very much similar to when you've had redistricting battles. Lawmakers go to other states as well from other states. I think in Texas and Oklahoma years ago that happened. Again, I hope it doesn't get to that. That would be ridiculous. You know, this is a bold political move, but it is ultimately a very modest, a very mild series of requests. We're still asking people to pay less than what the national average is for pensions and for health care, yet you'd act like you were taking their firstborn child here.
Hey, man, there are 25,000 people on the grounds at the state capitol. It's not mild. In fact, it's draconian. And the right to collectively bargain, you're not asking them to make the cuts yet. You want to ask them to make the cuts. That's a different issue. By the way, they're volunteering to make the cuts. You're saying you're not even getting the right to go to the table and discuss it. What do you think's going to happen when they give up the right to talk about it? I'm sure you'll be fair. Of course you'll be fair. Are you not merciful, Governor Walker? You're trying to make them give up the right to talk about what's fair. Yeah, you're right. It's not a big deal. And that's a big question? No, it's not a big question. If JR leaves the state and doesn't do his job, I can't get the state troopers to go after him. And if he flees to Oregon, we certainly can't get the Oregon police to bring him back so he can produce the frickin' show. Come on, it's ridiculous. But anyway, it's a good question, Greta. So now, of course, flexing his muscle. Now it's a little mano a mano, because this will get the Democrats to come back. Governor Walker showing everybody that he's a man.
I know you got a busy day out there in Madison where you would like to take a vote today.
I'm actually
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually going to show up and do my job, unlike those state senators. I'm in the Capitol doing my job. I'm daring them to come back and do what they're supposed to do, what they were elected to do, and what I hope they will do by the end of the day.
How old is that guy? 9? Also, Paul Ryan, you know, the guy who gave the Republican response to the State of the Union. Wisconsin is electing some young fellas. Like, apparently, all you got to do is graduate high school, and you too can be elected the governor of Wisconsin. Anyway, I love Steve Ducey too. I love the fake laughter on TV when you're interviewing. I'm sure I've done it too, but you know. So here's Democratic State Senator John Erpenbach, and then he says that he's only coming back at all if Walker is prepared to compromise and negotiate, and Walker has said that he isn't.
If the governor doesn't sit down, will you go back to Madison and get this done? And if not, how late will you stay away? How long will you stay away?
Again, you know, I would love to sleep in my own bed tonight. I'm afraid that's probably not going to happen. Again, this goes back to the governor.
So you're not going to answer how long it is you're willing to hold out here?
Well, we don't know. I mean, that's totally up to the governor.
Might you hold out for days? Might you hold out for weeks?
Shepard, again, that's up to the governor. When the governor is willing to sit down and really try and build consensus and take a look at the legislation, exactly how it affects Wisconsin, and try and bring us together, then that's a great movement forward.
I don't want to give Fox a break on anything, but man, how much better is Shep Smith than Greta or Steve Ducey, man? Because, I mean,